Hey, I figured I've had this bike now for a little over a year. I bought it New Year's Eve of 2018, and today is like the 3rd or 4th of February, something like that. Anyways, I figured I'd give it a quick review, pros, cons, all that stuff. It's 2019 Polaris Sportsman High Lifter, 1000 edition, or I guess Polaris Sportsman 1000 High Lifter edition, however you want to call that. I love it so far. It's been pretty reliable. I haven't broke too much on it, more than I have any other of my bikes. Parts are, since Polaris is like the most #1 selling bike out there, parts are pretty available, which is good, because I break them, and I'd break them no matter what brand I rode. Some of the pros on it: it's mud ready, snorkels, radiators relocated, tires, it's got power steering, all that stuff. These Outlaw 2s, they're almost mild by today's standards, but they still get the job done pretty good. Like, it don't mess around too much. Ground clearance is a little long, ground clearance, but I ride with the lowest settings on there. That way it's nice and soft and cushy. Kills me sometimes because the people I ride with, Project Ajax and all his Hondas and everything, they're pretty jacked up. They're maxed out on suspension. I keep mine pretty soft. One day I'll lift it up, but I ain't quite ready to do that yet. So pretty cush ride. The power, man, this thing shits and gets. It don't mess around in that department. Don't mess around in that department. Don't leave me wanting for more or nothing. That's don't have enough to say about that, or anything else to say about that. I don't know how you want to word it, but it shits and gets. 1000 cc's, or I don't know. Actually, it's like 9 something, but close enough to call it a 1000. Clutching, it's geared a little lower for those big tires than the regular Sportsman, which means high gear doesn't go quite as fast as a regular Sportsman XP. That's cool with me. It's rare I go over 20 miles an hour anyways. Pretty rare. This mud handle, when these came out in, like, I don't know, 13 or 14 or whatever, I thought these are pretty ridiculous. However, I use that thing all the dang time. I don't know how many times I've had it way above the handlebars, and I had to grab onto this to keep it from going all the way under. I use that thing a lot. That's pretty handy. You can make your own or whatever. This one came factory on the High Lifter 1000. I think on the older 850s. I don't know if it comes on the newer 850s. But I use that thing a lot. It's super easy to maintain. You get everything to. Oil's dipsticks right there, air filters right here, and then spark plugs are right behind this panel, which is a piece of cake to remove. I have to do that regularly, actually. So easy to maintain. I can reach the diffs, the transmission, all that stuff, no problem. It's not a pain in the ass. I don't have to strip the whole bike down to change a belt, or actually, that's a bad example. To change a belt, I think I do have to take off this left's rear, but that's not a big deal. Or regular maintenance, air filter, oil changes, all that stuff, pretty simple. On the 1000, it comes with a winch and bumpers and power steering, so that's a good plus right there. Is it worth the extra couple grand over the 850? I don't know, but the winch is no joke. It worked great. I use it all the time. To get other people out for the most part. Yeah, that's up to you whether you want to decide to get the 850 or 1000. You'd probably be just fine on the 850, but I splurged and I don't regret it. Alright, some of the negatives. The diff. This, see if you can't get it, the differential is weak. How well I'm going to get in there. I broke the diff. It has a shitty cover on it at the pinion bearing, and that thing flexes and it breaks. It shatters the diff and shatters the cover. You could buy a billet one from Checo Racing, or I think there's a couple other brands. I think Checo's the most popular one. But I broke mine before. I actually bought one, and then I broke my diff before I could put that in there. So I swapped in a Razor 900 diff, and it's been working pretty good so far. No problems. Easy to do too. I bought that diff for like 420 bucks or something, so they can be had cheap. The radiator and fans. Very cool. They put the radiator up on top, right? They did it poorly. This is a Rogue off-road aftermarket cover, but it's just a cover, that's it. So the radiator lays flat-ish, like maybe a 15 degree or something. But since it lays flat like that, everything just rests on top of it. All the muck and the mud and all that other shit rests on top of it. And then radiator fans, they lay flat-ish, right? Like I said, flat-ish. But water just sits in the motors, and then everything rusts up and the fans go bad. I've replaced 2 fans so far. Another thing about the radiator I don't like is, I don't know if you'll be able to see it up there, but it's open underneath here. Focus. So all the mud and everything off your tires goes up into there, in the bottom. So it's constantly being covered. So yeah, it's cool that they put it up top like that, but at the same time, dumb design. The ones that like stick straight up, those are way better. I'm still half tempted to buy an aftermarket one for a regular 850 and put it on there. Very cool they did that, but execution, not the best. There's no temp gauge on the gauge, or temperature reading, however you want to say it. That ain't on there. You can buy a Razor one when you first buy it, and you'll have that on there, or you can buy an aftermarket gauge and wire it up. Either way, they have them. I don't understand why they wouldn't use them. They already make the shit. Why wouldn't they put that in there? One thing I like about the XMR over the high lifter is it's got an extended wheelbase. I wish this had an extended wheelbase. I like that a little bit better. I know my wife sitting on the back would like it a little bit better too. They have them. Again, I don't know why they wouldn't make a high lifter with the extended wheelbase. They already have the, what is it, the Touring or the X2 or whatever the hell it's called. Which also, that's a 2019. They've had the new body out for 2 years now, 3 years now. Why is high lifter still using this old body that's been out since like 08, 09, something like that? Old. I'd expect them to do it in 2020, but again, they came out with the old body again. So, what's the deal? Let's see a scrambler too. Turning radius on this thing is about as bad as my Ranger Crew. It don't turn for shit. It don't turn for shit. Things I've replaced on it so far are that front diff, an axle. I put a Cobra axle in the right front there. When I first bought it, there's I went too deep and there's a weep hole on the back of this gauge, and water got in there and wrecked it, so warranty replaced that. What else did I change? Oh, and 2 fans. So nothing too bad. That's in a year, but if you see my videos, I don't treat it nicely. I kind of gave her the business this weekend. I've broken this bottom plastic. I did this weekend, I think, and then this too, which isn't broke. I just broke that pin right there is all. Shit I've added that's not factory, this cover, which is pretty sweet. All looks though. All looks badass though. Good job, Caleb. Rogue Off-Road, get you one. And then these badass snorkels from Bab Industries. Clay Bab makes them. They're badass. They look badass. All around, badass. Ammo cans with the lock and ride. Oh, I did. O2 Off-Road hooked me up with a koozie this week, and go check him out. These lock and ride knobs, get them on Amazon, maybe like $20. Drill 2 holes, put them tight. They are pretty secure. Tiger tail, that thing, I love it. I didn't think I would like it as much, but I do. I use it regularly. It's pretty badass. What made me choose this over the XMR? It was a little bit cheaper. Not much, maybe a couple $100. Not much, so. And then I'm already been on team Polaris for I don't know how long. A couple years now. Had a Yamaha, a couple Yamahas, and a couple Polaris, but I'm just familiar with Polaris now, so I knew if I'd get an XMR, anything that go wrong, I'd be like, damn it, fucking Can-Am sucks. I should have chosen Polaris. And shit will go wrong, I promise you, whether it's Honda or Yamaha or Suzuki, Arctic Cat, I don't know if anybody even rides those anymore. Can-Am, all that shit. You're gonna break shit. I don't care who you are. And if you don't think you will, let me borrow it, and I fucking promise I will break it. Promise. Testify. Oh, I forgot to add, I bought these lights from Lucky 7. Those are pretty nice. Definitely better than the stock. A lot of people buy this thinking it's going to be the end-all, be-all of mud bikes, and they're going to get it, and they ain't ever going to have no problems in mud. That ain't the case, man. It's slightly better than a stock bike. It's got the tires on it, and a little bit lower gearing, and snorkels, and radiator relocated. So it ain't the end-all, be-all bike. You're still going to have to do shit to it, I promise. And then would I buy it again? You better believe it. I would in a heartbeat. This thing is a blast to ride. Blast. I was on a side-by-side for a few years, and I still own my side-by-side. I still have a big Ranger crew that's all lifted and everything. But getting back to an ATV after being on a side-by-side, that's a huge difference, man. It's just a lot more fun. It's easier to load in the truck and just go. It seems like less than an event to load it up and go. It's just seems a little easier, way more fun. Hot rodding on this is a lot more easy and more fun than on a big Ranger crew. It's just I don't know how to explain it. People that have both can tell you it's more fun to ride the ATV than the side-by-side. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. I think that's it, man. I think I covered up everything. Let me know what you got. I like the XMRs. I don't have no problems with them. I like all that shit. Honda, riding with Project Ajax and his wife, they showed me Hondas are pretty badass too. Would I get one? Probably not. I'm a big dude and I like that extra horsepower. But no hate. I got a lot of respect for them now, more than I used to, anyways. Let me know what you ride down in the comments below. You ain't ever gonna probably change my mind or convince me to buy something different. So, I mean, you could write that if you want, but you ain't gonna sway my opinion none. Let me know what you ride down below. Like it, share it, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Hit the bell. Thanks everybody for watching. It's a huge difference when people like and interact. Makes a huge difference on my YouTube channel. So. Thanks again, everybody. It's badass when people flag me down at the parks and say, hey, I watch your videos. That's my head just fucking blows up. It's weird to me. But nonetheless, I love it. So, yeah. Thanks for watching.